You are Locked On Mavericks Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Dallas, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Locked On Mavs Postcast, your home for the best Dallas Mavericks coverage. I am Jeff Biggs, longtime host and reporter. Great to be back with you. Hope that you had a great Christmas. Hope you were able to enjoy this game tonight, even though it ended up in a tough Mavs loss, but a lot to get to, and we'll do that. Thank you for watching Locked On Sports Dallas, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Mavericks podcast feed as well. And a reminder, as you know, the NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We are going to get started tonight talking about what an incredible performance tonight for Kyrie Irving. A season high 46 points, including 20 in the fourth. A valiant effort to single-handedly carry this team on his back and get the win. They just ran out of time and ran out of key stops defensively down the stretch. But again, a 4-point loss for the Mavs tonight in Portland. 126-122 the final. We'll talk about Kyrie and his performance tonight. We'll also get into some of the other numbers of who else on this Mavs team shorthanded tonight was able to step up and try to make up for the void. And also we'll talk about some of the other numbers of not only tonight but for the Mavs after 32 games on the season. The Mavs tonight now are 20-12 on the season, 10-7 away from home, and they lose 126-122. Again, my name is Jeff Biggs. Thank you for tuning in. Want to get things started right away with the comment crew. If you're listening now live, watching live, if you watch the game tonight, please jump in. We're here for you. Your team every game, and we're here for you after every game. We want to get your feedback. We want to get your input. You know, I was thinking about it. I go out of town for a few days for Christmas, and I get back, and while I'm gone, I mean, Luka suffers the strained calf. Najee gets into it in Phoenix. He gets suspended. PJ Washington gets suspended, and Derek Lively misses another game with a hip injury. I mean, all that in just a few days. You can't script it, but it is what it is. It's part of the grind of the NBA regular season. I'm glad to be back, though. Glad to be back in the great state of Texas. Glad to be with you tonight, and hope that you will, again, participate in the show via the comment section. You know, I made this comment after the win on Monday night, even though the Mavs ended up beating the Blazers again handily Monday night in Dallas with a big finish and a big return for Luka. I made the comment during that postcast about how, you know, this second game back in Portland, because remember the Mavs won there back in December. This second game in Portland coming up on this road trip, second out of the back of a back-to-back. It's going to be tough. This young Blazers team, they're not going to do anything this year, but they're young. They have a lot of energy. They can score very easily. They can fill it up really, really quick. And Portland has always, it's weird, one of those places where there really is a legit home court advantage for sure. And they always play just a different level better on their home floor. And I think we saw that tonight. Valiant effort by the Mavs, and specifically Kyrie Irving, who almost, you know, and what did I say? I said this the other night. I said, man, you know, when are we going to see Kyrie kind of go off and go nuts? Because watching Kyrie, even though it was great to have Luka back and great to see everybody else kind of fitting into their roles, I made the comment that, man, it's just still such a treat to be able to watch Kyrie play in I didn't. Oh, I forgot to put the background up. See, this is my bad. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. I was supposed to do that. That's on me. Even though you watch Kyrie, I mean, you watch Kyrie game in and game out, and I mean, you can see he's just such a treat to watch. That obviously he's not going to score every single time, but I mean, he probably could score most of the time if he wanted to. And so we've been kind of waiting for one of these Kyrie kind of nights, and sure enough, we got one tonight. Unfortunately, I feel for him because this would have really been. He played so well and scored a season high 46 points, 24 in the first half, 20 in the fourth quarter, and I mean this would have been a nice little personal kind of single-handedly carried the team to a win kind of little niche, for he doesn't need it. I mean, at the end of the day, he doesn't need that for his resume, but it would have been nice for him, and he certainly deserved it. I mean, he played his what off, and man, I thought the way that it was great to see the Mavs had a couple of nice runs in the first half. They had that nice 9-0 run just before the end of the first quarter. They had a nice, I think it was an 11-0 run in the second quarter. And you're thinking, okay, at least they got it down to 10. 10's usually, teams like to get under 10 if they can. They like to be in position to strike, but they like to get under 10 if they can. It's just it's a big psychological thing in the NBA. And so you're thinking, okay, they weathered the storm. We knew the Blazers were going to come out hot. They back on their home floor, excited, ready to go, They were jacked up to play the Mavs again. But then that third quarter, I mean, the Mavs it just was not there at all. And you're thinking, okay, I mean, honestly, I thought by the end of towards the end of the third, I'm thinking, okay, when does Jason Kidd just wave the flag, clear the bench, and let everybody rest for two big games coming up to wrap up the road trip in Sacramento and Houston? But you know what? I mean, to the Mavs' credit, they did not give up, and they actually made a game of it and got it down to within 5 with about 5 minutes. Even at one point with 3 minutes left to go, it was at 5. And you're thinking, man, okay, the way that Kyrie was shooting, you're watching it and you say, okay, I mean, they absolutely have a chance to win the game. Absolutely. They have a chance to pull it out with the way that he was hitting. And I thought, don't want to pick on Clay or single him out because it certainly wasn't his fault, but Clay had a couple of really, not only two big misses in the fourth quarter, but also had that key turnover that was just critical, and that was the dagger. Again, wasn't all on Clay. I'm just saying those were a couple of big moments where you would love to have seen Clay knock those down, and who knows? I mean, if he does, we might be having a different postcast here. But man, Kyrie he tried, and like I said, he deserved to pull it out and to have that. And man, what a great effort by him. Just incredible to see him go to work. And yeah, he had a couple of misses too down the stretch, so it wasn't just Clay, but tough. The Mavs almost pulled it out. I mean, a 40-point fourth quarter. I mean, think about that. 40 points in the fourth. I mean, as gassed as they looked after the long travel, after a emotional win last night in Phoenix, to have to fly all that way, get in 2-3 in the morning. You got to get up, be ready to go, and to play this Portland team on their home floor, and to score 40 in the fourth, and to hold the Blazers to 29 down the stretch. I mean, that's great effort right there. This team has a lot of heart. I mean, they have a lot of heart, and you can tell that they're unified. They're on the same page, and if they can get healthy and really be healthy and ready to go in crunch time, it's going to. I'm just excited to see how this team comes together, and I say this every game. I enjoy watching this team play. I enjoy the process. Love watching the way that this team has come together, all the adversity that they've been through. And, tonight, every time you watch, it's must-watch TV. I mean, they're very, very entertaining. And the cool thing, too, is like, even though going into tonight, it was kind of a bummer because you have no Luka, no Najee, and no PJ. I was like, okay, well, cool. Well, I can't wait to see, how the other guys step up and how they respond and who's going to be the guy to lead them to a win against a Blazers team that the Mavs have. I mean, a Blazers team that's not good, and a Blazers team that the Mavs have, for the most part, owned. I mean, they won all 4 games last season, won the first 2 this season, and almost pulled it out in game number 3 tonight. They'll get one more shot coming up in a couple of weeks. But anyway, 126 to 122. Props to Kyrie. His final numbers tonight: 39 minutes for Kyrie, 16 of 26 from the field, including 5 of 12 from beyond the 3-point line, 9 of 9 at the free throw line, season high, 46 points, a couple of steals, a block, a couple of rebounds for Kyrie. And again, just a great all-around performance, almost single-handedly lifting the Mavs to this win on the road in Portland. All right, we're going to take our first time out. When we come back, we're going to get into some of the other numbers from this game tonight. Again, 126 to 122, the final. The Mavs come up short. This is the Locked On Mavs postcast. I'm Jeff Biggs. Great to be with you on this Saturday night. Want to hear from you and the comment crew when we come back. This is the Locked On Mavs postcast. All right, with Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on an uninvested cash and can be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhoodgold.com/gold. robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For the product specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Welcome back to the Mavs postcast. My name is Jeff Biggs. Great to be with you on this Sunday night. Don't forget to continue to check out the Locked On Mavs podcast with Nick Anstead and the crew. Isaac, slightly biased. They're with you every day. All kinds of great content every single day. They do an outstanding job. In fact, I'm sure they'll be coming up with their show in just a little bit. We are with you after the games. This is why they call it the Mavs postcast, and we're here to get into it with you. And again, that's what the comment section is for. If you want to jump in, want to get your feedback and get your thoughts, that's what we're here for as well, to interact with you. Again, I was disappointed. I'm glad we got a little bit of a clarification when I found out that Najee got 4 games and Nurkic got 3. That upset me a lot, but then I understood the reasoning behind it was apparently it continued after the game, right? And so that part of it I get. There was some more talking and some more going at it after the game. With apparently Najee wanted to keep the conversation going with Nurkic. And so I understand that, but still, to me, again, it was Nurkic that turned back around and was kind of walking towards Najee. And yeah, Najee did get close, and yeah, did get his hands on his chest, but it was Nurkic that threw the first blow, the cup slap to the top of Najee's head because he's so much taller than him. And I just, I thought that alone right there, I mean, that should be equal. I mean, I just don't see how you can say, well, we're going to give him 3, but we're going to give Najee 4. I understand the reasoning, and I don't know what went on in the locker room. It's funny. I won't get into this tonight, but I'll talk about this on Monday. A great story involving Sacramento from back in the day. Doug Christie, who has taken over from Mike Brown, who was once a Lakers coach at one point, who was let go from the Kings. Mike Brown let go. Doug Christie is now the interim head coach for the Kings. And back in the day when the Shaq and Kobe Lakers owned the West, and Sacramento was trying to knock them off and trying to get to the finals, and there was some great feuds in that rivalry, including one between Doug Christie and Rick Fox, and it actually carried over into the locker room area after a game one night. I'll get into it. I'll tell you all about it after our game on Monday night when I'm with you after that game. But very similar, where sometimes even though they're off the court and everything's supposed to stop, sometimes there's some things that need to be said and some unfinished business. So apparently that's why the NBA gave Najee the extra game instead of Nurkic. I wish that was something that could be appealed. I know appeals aren't really, they don't work really. They never really seem to work in most, baseball, once in a while in the NFL, sometimes in baseball. But nonetheless, the good news is P.J. Washington served his suspension, so he'll be back Monday night in Sacramento. That would be great to have him back. But again, I think the fact that Nurkic hit Najee in the head first, not only because he's so much bigger than him, that's, I get it. That's, you don't do that, man. You don't go at people's heads. You don't go at people's faces like that. And as a teammate, he was sticking up for Gafford. And come on, I mean, that was clearly an intent by Nurkic to get an extra shot at Gafford around the neck and under the chin. I mean, absolutely 110%. And I get it. I mean, I'm upset just watching it as a fan. So I get it, how he would feel as a teammate, and I get it too as PJ Washington would be upset too after seeing Nurkic hit Najee on the top of the head. I mean, you just don't do that. So anyway, didn't want to get into all that, but ended up going down that trail. But that's what happened there. So it will be good to have PJ coming back. Looking at this game tonight, Maxi Kleba had 15 points and really kind of stepped up Friday night in Phoenix. Unfortunately, even though Maxi had a couple of really nice rebounds, finished with 8 in the game, 5 assists, Maxi only ended up, he didn't score a point. And so I wasn't looking for him to score double digits, but that might have helped. Daniel Gafford ended up with 15 points playing tonight, almost had a double-double with 9 rebounds. Kyrie with the season-high 46. Spencer Dinwiddie had a very quiet 17. He got the start, another start for him. 35 minutes, 5 of 13, couple of threes, went 5 for 5 at the line, 8 rebounds. So a quality start, if you will, but on a night when the Mavs needed just a little bit more. They needed a little bit more offensively, and they needed just a few more stops on the defensive end. and they were just not able to get it. Clay ended up with 12 points, 5 of 17 from the field, but 2 of 8 from beyond the three-point line. And as I noted, had a couple of key misses in the fourth quarter, and also that was Clay's only turnover of the game. That one critical turnover right there in crunch time in the final couple minutes that turned out to be the dagger for the Blazers. Off the bench, Quinton Grimes, who I love Quinton's game, and I feel like there's more of a ceiling for him. I feel like there's more room for him to grow, and I think that will come. I think that will come as the season goes on, and probably even more so when Luka gets back. But he had that one stretch of like 9 straight points. I think it was 9 in the third for Quinton. 15 points total, including 3 threes in 28 minutes. But after that, you had Omax with 4. How about Omax with that transition basket? That was a nice surprise. Like, whoa, there goes Omax all the way to the hole. That was good to see. Dwight Powell had a basket, and also Jaden Hardy with a very quiet 11 off the bench in 17 minutes, but good to see Jaden Hardy back, 4 of 7, including 3 threes for Jaden, very quietly. So that will be good to see him getting some more minutes and seeing him contribute. But again, just not enough. And I think the big number, which just shows you just how difficult this Blazer team can be to defend. And I thought one thing I noticed, which I liked, what the Mavs tried to do in the second quarter in this game, is they kind of cut that lead down a little bit, even though it was only 10 at halftime. I thought the Mavs did a really good job. I mean, in the first quarter, the beginning of the first quarter, I mean, the Blazers were just scoring at will. I mean, they were just playing at their pace, and the Mavs just were on their heels. But I thought the Mavs did a really good job in the second quarter of kind of flipping that script a little bit, and the Mavs slowed it down, kind of got into their tempo. Were playing better defense. They went to zone a little bit and got some turnovers and got some misses and got some stops. Did a better job, and then got it within striking distance, but they just were not able to do that for the entire game. And you can tell they ran out of gas on the defensive end down the stretch. And so all that to say was that the Mavs, who usually have been so good in winning the points in the paint and dominating in the paint, tonight, different story. The Blazers were better in the paint than the Mavs by 20, 58-38. So that was, I mean, that tells you a lot right there. Also, fast break points for the Blazers, 24, only 12 for the Mavs. And rebounding, again, I mean, rebounding, so important. And again, look, we know the Mavs are shorthanded, so I'm not, I mean, you have no Lively, no Luka, no PJ, no Najee. I mean, that's tough to overcome. I don't think we were expecting it, but the Mavs were out rebounded 50-40. So that kind of paints the picture. But with all that said, and again, it was a 5-point game and ended up being a 4-point loss, 126-122. All right, we'll have our final thoughts and we'll wrap things up when we come back. This is the Mavs postcast after a loss tonight in Portland. All right, well, we know what time of year it is, and that means the NFL playoffs are almost here. But it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. You can you can finish strong. And again, FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W. You can bet on which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score. It's thrilling, and it takes the game to another level. But not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score, how many points each team will score, so much more. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, welcome back to the Mavs POSTCAST. Jeff Biggs, great to be with you on this Saturday night. I'm hoping because it's the holidays that our regulars in the comment crew are kind of taking a break or with family and friends or enjoying the holidays. But I'm hoping as we get into the new year that we had a really good run of comments and interaction with the comment crew, and I'm hoping that we'll pick back up as we kind of get into the new year. But coming up on Monday night, again, it's going to be Game 3 of this 4-game road trip for the Mavs. PJ Washington will be back. I'm thinking Derek Lively will be back. I mean, he's missed the last 2 games with that hip contusion. I think he should be good to go. I don't know. I don't know how severe it is, but all things considered, this will give him a pretty good amount of time, for rest and healing. For a bruise, I would think he should be back. But either way, just having PJ alone will be great. The Mavs will spend the night in Portland tonight and then fly to Sacramento tomorrow, get ready to play the Kings on Monday night, and then wrap up the year and the road trip on New Year's in Houston before coming back home for what should be a great way to begin the homestand with Cleveland. Looking forward to that game a lot. It's going to be great. But some good things. Again, all of this experience with this group is good. It's only going to help. It's only going to help. The main thing, though, is just getting Luka back 100% at some point. I mean, if it's a month, if it's 2 months, whatever it takes, just rest that calf, let him get ready to go, and have him, comfortable and where he needs to be. I've said this before. I've seen teams literally they can flip the switch in April. I mean, they can literally take their game to another level. All they need is 10 whatever games in the month of April before the playoffs, and they're ready to go. So it's the Mavs they're fine. They're in a good spot. They just need to get Luka back. I mean, that's going to be key, is getting him back and keeping him back. That's going to be key. But for everybody else, all of this experience has been great. Really felt for Kyrie. I mean, again, a season high, 46 points for Kyrie. Probably deserved to get that win tonight. Would have been really nice. I mean, to play as well as he did would have been really nice to say not only did he go off and carry the team and score 46 points, but they also got the win. Didn't happen, came up 4 points short, but I mean, you can see, just what he can do. And so whenever they get to that point where we get Luka back on the top of his game and Kyrie with where he's at this year, and even Clay, I mean, Clay has been getting better and better now over the last few weeks. I can't wait to see this team really kind of hit their stride and hit their potential. But in the meantime, great opportunity for other guys to come up. I'm glad to see. I feel like Maxey is kind of had a breakthrough for this season, again, because it doesn't matter what you did last season. I mean, every season is new, and this season, we've been kind of waiting for Maxey to kind of find a role, find a niche, and now we're kind of seeing, okay, there are things that he can do, obviously defensively, but he can surprise you every once in a while. They're not looking for him for the offense, but he can be a plus on the floor with his defense, right? Good to see Jaden Hardy back. And again, I'm excited to see. I still feel like there's a lot of room for Quinton Grimes, even Najee. I still feel like we haven't. I mean, Najee, this is new for him, and we haven't really seen him get comfortable with everybody yet. Derek Lively, I want to see what he can do and how far he can elevate his game. So there's a lot to be excited about, even though it's tough to have Luka out until probably the end of January, if not later. But still, a lot to get excited about, a lot to look forward to, and some good matchups and some good games. It seems like there's been some so-so scheduling, but they're getting rid of a lot of these road games, a lot of these so-so matchups, and we've got some good games coming up on the schedule to get really excited about. So with that said, enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. I know it's late, and I thank you for hanging with me, watching the show tonight. Again, don't forget the Locked On Mavs podcast all week long as we get ready for the rest of this road trip. I'll be back with you again on Monday night after the matchup in Sacramento. So I'll look forward to that. I look forward to hanging with you then. And again, the Mavs come up short tonight in Portland. They fall to the Blazers 126-122. Have a good night. Talk to you on Monday.